Unfortunately for Jonathan, that is going to be a quick 2-0 for the Naya Transmogrified deck. And this is an interesting thing because we did get a chance to see a lot of the kind of meta decks today. We saw Vampires, we saw Waste Not, which, you give or take, it's fallen out of the meta so far. I can take it. It's not a good deck anymore. But we've seen a couple of different decks so far, but the Naya Transmogrified deck coming in as like one of those unknown quantities. That's one of those things that I've had conversation with other people at the store before. It's very difficult, even if your deck is a solid meta deck, to know what to do in a situation that is unfamiliar for these pilots. So when you're, I guess, like fall back on from your side to kind of deal with an unknown quantity like that, because I think there's a lot of pioneer pilots out there get to an RCQ, hit the top 8, and then run into Golgari crimes or something. I have no idea what to do against it.
So typically I am the one playing the less known.
Oh, okay. Well,
but also when I'm facing a deck that's less familiar, less present in the metagame, I am trying to place them like where they are in the metagame, like what type of speed are they trying to like the classic article, the classic question of who's the beatdown comes into mind here, right? Like, are you trying, like, what's your game plan against like, if are they trying to do this combo game plan with these like mid-rangey cards to follow up with? Are they trying to like just like make sure they are always in like the control seat? Are they trying to just like uh, attack you with like unfamiliar but still a very aggressive creature? Like what is their game plan? Like identify their game plan and then identify the ways you can like interact with that game plan. So like interact with their game plan or like maybe not interact, I guess. I'm usually playing a deck that packs plenty of interaction, so I'm usually trying to see like in what way I can interact with my opponent. Like, are they kind of weak on the stack? Are they like maybe they play too many of a certain type of permanent that you can like use a wrath to abuse? Are they trying to play like one spell a turn, where like just single efficient spot removal are great? Or are they trying to interact too much with you, so you are trying to like pull ahead in your own way by like drawing multiple cards? And so I would try to identify where they are, identify their primary game plan, and identify like maybe you're just not supposed to worry about some of the edge cases. Like sometimes they're doing something really powerful, but it only happens like 10% of the time. So maybe your game plan is to just not change too much and not and try to like focus on your game plan, because when your game plan executes itself, hopefully you are pulling more ahead and your opponent has to worry about you, and like their main game plan just fumbles and you will most likely win the game that way. So I know it is really easy to overboard in a lot of these situations when you're facing some unknown quantities and you have like a bunch of sideboard cards that looks really good against them. Like you start thinking about all these situations like, oh, what if my Fiery Impulse just lines up against their Fable token that when they're trying to cast Transmogrify, that is a 2-for-1. I blow them out. But sometimes that just never materializes, and you kind of have to like fall back to tried and true good Magic cards.
So a lot of good advice there. Yeah, I know that a lot of people are kind of like afraid of not being prepared for everything in the room, and decks like this Naya Transmogrified deck kind of line up with all of those fears. But being able to kind of like you said, kind of fall back on some of those fundamentals of identifying what the game plan is, identifying where you actually stand in the matchup, and seeing if your plan is just stronger than their plan, all really good things to kind of follow up on.